Many of us are closing in on nearly 12 months of some type of virtual learning with our kids. In one way or another, it seems that virtual learning will continue to be a part of our discipleship and spiritual growth formats going forward. Either way, I know it is your heart to engage your kids while using these virtual platforms. So, what does student engagement look like? Well, here's a definition that I found. Student engagement is defined as the degree of attention, curiosity, interest, optimism, and passion that a student shows. Now, if you think about that definition, that may feel like a lot to try and accomplish when trying to maintain engagement with kids in a virtual learning environment. So let's take just a few minutes to look at just 10 ways that we could maintain this engagement with our kids in these virtual learnings. Number 1, start strong. Find fun and creative ways to connect the kids to each other from the very beginning. Use icebreaker style questions to provide a fun and safe way for each participant to interact and create connection points with other kids. So let's talk about a couple of examples. So you've heard of the game 2 Truths and a Lie, where everyone has to go around and say 2 truths and a lie, and everyone has to decide which one's the lie, which is the truths. Have you played the game Have You Ever? Have you ever climbed a mountain? Everyone raise your hand who climbed a mountain, or slept outside all night long, or traveled to more than 10 states. Just some general questions where kids can engage. What about show and tell? Now for this, you will need to plan ahead and let each child know in advance to plan to bring one object of their favorite thing to show off. What about would you rather, or maybe a version of 4 corners or 4 colors? Again, you're gonna have to plan ahead a little bit, but provide each child with either 4 various colored tools, or this could be cardstock, popsicles with a colored tip on the end, or even playing cards, and use one of each of the 4 face cards to represent a response. Then you ask fun questions and allow each child to reveal their answer. Sounds not even necessary for this. For an example, would you rather live in the country, on the ocean, in the mountain, or in a big city? And each of their representations of their answers are from those 4 objects. So start strong. Number 2, foster community. Even in a virtual setting, creating community among the kids and even the leaders is vital to engagement. Depending on the size of your group, consider small group options within your setting for smaller group breakouts. This will provide opportunities for each child to connect, engage, and even contribute to conversations and activities. Keep in mind, each child has unique needs and potential challenges. Be aware of each child and how to best connect them to other children. Consider this. Encourage kids who may not want to speak up to utilize the chat feature to respond and connect through the text. Or create fun interactive challenges that can be completed in smaller group breakouts to allow each person to participate. Maybe have brainstorming sessions or project planning or even specific games. What if you could identify common links among the kids? Now, this could even happen in breakouts. Talk about pets, favorite vacation destinations, or favorite topic in school, or even hobbies. Finding common links outside of the learning point will create connection points that leaders can build on throughout the lesson. Number 3, speaking of lessons, develop lesson content around shorter attention spans. Now, we all understand the value of teaching to attention span, but in a virtual setting, and from personal experience, there are a lot more things that can steal your child's attention now. If your typical lesson would take about 30 minutes to cover in your traditional setting or even small group, consider breaking it into smaller segments. This can be done by simply adding in discussion questions throughout the teaching, using common objects that a child could find in their home to illustrate or even help teach a lesson point, or even just playing a game in the middle of the lesson that supports the theme or outcome. Keep your key objective in focus when teaching. Make sure you've narrowed in on the one thing you want the kids to walk away knowing when this lesson is finished. Focus on that one theme or goal throughout the entire teaching time. Use common household objects. If you're talking about sharing the gospel with others, take a 30-second break and ask each child to go and find their favorite pair of shoes. Once they return, take a moment to have them all share why they chose those specific shoes. Use their shoes as a connection to the verse found in Romans 10:15. And how will anyone go and tell them without being sent? That is why the scripture says, how beautiful are the feet of messengers who bring good news. You see the simple connection? Consider how you can incorporate music into your lesson. Have the kids work together to develop new lyrics to current songs or a tune and relate the song to the lesson or theme. Great fun ways you could do all those. Number 4, recognize the need for personalized learning. Unlike in a traditional classroom or even a small group, a virtual learning platform may not allow you time to focus one-on-one with a particular child. Allow for times when you can connect with kids in a smaller group setting or as a part of a breakout or possibly even a one-on-one setting with parents' involvement. Knowing each of your children and their special needs or challenges will help influence personalized learning opportunities. Other kids may simply need more time to build relationships or trust with your leaders or even other kids. Schedule additional times to meet with fewer kids. Focus these times on either project-specific topics, lesson review, or even just basic relationship building. Consider alternative learning styles and provide times to assist kids as needed. This may include assisted reading, additional help with memorization, or even further development of lesson concepts for understanding. Remember, at the end of the day, we don't want kids to just simply check off the box. We want them to have head knowledge, but ultimately heart knowledge that's going to develop their faith for a lifetime. Number 5, include peer collaboration. Now, we are created for community. Kids, just like adults, need times when peer collaboration is necessary to meet the relational needs in their lives. Providing opportunities for peers to communicate, create, and dream together is not only key to their personal development and growth, but fosters community within their world. Using the breakout group options within the virtual learning platforms can allow for this type of connection. Create project-based activities on your lesson or theme. Remember, it's okay to think outside the box. Ask kids in a smaller group setting to create lesson discussion questions on their own, and then discuss and share with the larger group. Encourage times for small group connection outside of your teaching session. Long-term projects or assignments for upcoming lessons can help foster this type of collaboration. Number 6, self-led learning. A self-led learning style would allow students to complete any study or reading for an upcoming lesson on their own, so that virtual classroom time can be focused on discussion and application-based learning. This style may be best suited for older children who are able to work independently or who have a strong support system at home with their family. This style may require additional support and even learning outside of your regular scheduled times. It may seem a little odd to think of that as a virtual learning engagement tool, but it does have its place for many. Number 7, know their limits. To increase engagement, encourage or even require students to maintain their camera view. After months of adapting to virtual platforms, we have all learned how to multitask during a virtual meeting. Simply turn off the camera. But by keeping kids connected visually, this will help maintain engagement. But beyond that, leaders and teachers need to continue to read the room. When students begin to look away or look down or become obviously engaged in other activities, it's time to switch things up. More than understanding attention spans, we can all become burned out with screen time and need to be aware of our students' limits. Keep your students informed with a session schedule maybe. Let them know when there'll be breaks or even new segments or activities. If they feel that this is just a nonstop session, they may feel like it's never going to end. They can become discouraged very quickly. Maintain excitement for what's next. With simple phrases such as, in just a few minutes, we're going to play a game, or I hope you're ready because we're going to break out in small groups shortly and you get to work on your projects. Be ready for the unexpected. Even the best lesson planner schedule may need to be tweaked from time to time. Be ready for a few of those just-in-case ideas or activities. We're closing in on this list of 10. Number 8, learn from the best. Your students have always lived in a time when technology was everywhere. They learn new ways of using it every day and they adapt very quickly. Don't be afraid to ask them how they're using technology and how it works best for them. Be willing to try something new or even let them lead. This could include lots of options, maybe online polls or quizzes, social media platforms that you're not even familiar with, or even web-based games or interactive activities. There's lots of options out there. Number 9, this one is key. Maintain a positive attitude. You've heard it said, attitude is everything. This is not the time for you to share your personal frustration with technology, the struggle with separation or the departure from the norm, or even your own fatigue with virtual connections. As the leader, modeling a positive attitude will help set the pace for your students. Be an encourager. Praise a student for their contribution, even if it's in the chat. Be willing to laugh when errors do occur. You know they will. Make prayer a priority. And then celebrate the victories just a little louder, even if it's through emojis. And finally, we're going to wrap up this list of 10 with this last one. Partner with parents. The reality of virtual learning creates a separation between leader and child, but also limits the necessary connection and communication needed with parents and family members. The home is the primary foundation for the spiritual development of any child. Value those relationships and provide connection times with the family to strengthen your class time with the kids. Consider providing a monthly parent connection through your virtual channels. Allow for families to hear about what their kids are learning, how they can support them at home, and provide support and encouragement to those families. Keep in mind, as you transition away from virtual and into your physical churches, you still have families that you will only connect to through your virtual channels. Provide digital resources for families as a support to current lesson topics that can be used in the home, possibly family devotionals, discussion questions, or activity ideas. Consider recommending a family-friendly movie that supports a theme or topic you're teaching on. Encourage families to watch the movie together and then provide discussion questions to use following the movie. Encourage the kids to then share their response in the next class or virtual meeting. Provide details from your lesson for maybe a game or a craft or a snack that they could make at home. In fact, here's some additional ideas that I found from Relevant Children's Ministry, which is an online article. It says, have families film themselves acting out a Bible story they learned that week at church or at home and post it online. Invite families to use creative ways to go over the Bible verse of the week or the month and film a post of what they do. Encourage families to act out some skits they create about applying the main teaching point from that week. An example might be a lesson on kindness. They would create the film and a situation where the kid and parent acts out kindness. Have family create video commercials that promote an upcoming event or even online virtual program. They can then post it online and use it as an invite to their friends, maybe teammates or even neighbors. No matter how often, how long, or on what virtual platform you're using to connect, lead and equip your kids in learning and growing in God's Word, there will be challenges. Just like in a face-to-face setting, We need to find creative ways to work within the parameters we are given. Take advantage of the opportunities we have been given and make the most of them. We have been called to reach a generation for Christ. Technology offers many ways to do this and can even broaden the reach of our ministries. I pray that as you continue to grow and learn within the parameters of virtual learning, God will give you fresh new ideas and favor in all that you do. Leaders, thank you for all that you're doing as you lead our girls in their knowledge and understanding of who Jesus Christ is and exploring every virtual option we have. Thank you.